Hey guys, what's up? It's Jeffrey Lynn. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about working with doctors and how to do that effectively. Because especially when you have chronic illnesses or even just a difficult out of the norm disease, doctors can be really frustrating, and especially when you're not feeling well and you just want to get better. You're even that more impatient to put up with all the testing or even the doctor's egos. I was born with 3 chronic illnesses. Maybe you can classify them as more. They're basically immune related, extreme eczema from head to toe, and I've had both the dry, cracking, thick, scaly kind of skin, and also the wet, leaky, looking like a burn victim kind of skin where all your clothes and everything just sticks on your body and you're like constantly ripping off your skin whenever you move. And I also have extreme allergies to literally everything. I couldn't even touch water for 10 years. I'm allergic to all foods. But those things never really got close to killing me because my asthma is so severe that, you know, I can smell things from miles away with windows closed and have a full-on asthma attack, and that will kill me first. So by the age of 4, I've seen all kinds of doctors east and west, and they have all failed and actually made my condition worse. Everything they tried made things worse. So by the age of 4, I had given up on all doctors, and I had decided that I was going to cure myself because it was apparent to me that nobody knew what was going on, like the best experts in every department. And I live in LA, so there are really great doctors and research hospitals and colleges here. And everyone failed and everyone messed up miserably. And these are the smartest people in the world that work on celebrities and things like that. So I worked really hard in school, especially because I'm sick. So I didn't get to go to school a lot, and I was wheezing and peeling and itching in bed, and inflammations everywhere. But studying kind of kept my mind off of it. So the first thing I want you guys to do, if you're not a medical expert, is you have to develop your biosciences and just science and math skills in general, because you have to take charge of your condition and your disease, and you have to be the lead doctor. You have to kind of be like Dr. House in the show House. Even if you find a great doctor, they won't know everything that you're going through at every single moment. And unless you're constantly in the ICU and having doctors around you 24/7, which is not fun, you're the only one that's going to be around you all the time. Your doctor, your specialist, whoever, they're not going to see everything that happens to you. They're not going to know of every little symptom. And even if they're there with you, if you don't say anything, or if you don't know that certain conditions or certain things are symptoms, then maybe you won't tell them and they'll miss something. So you really have to develop your biological science skills, chemistry skills, and just general scientific method of testing and evaluating and data taking, so you can keep track of all of your conditions and how medications affect you and how environmental conditions affect you and all these things. And you can do this in an unbiased manner. And the key about the scientific method is that you want to be unbiased, because especially when we're sick, our emotions get in the way. You know, we're not feeling well, we're agitated, we're impatient. It's a natural response, it's a survival response, but it's not the best way to observe your condition objectively and make good decisions and decide on treatment plans based on that.
I don't even believe you have a plan. I have part of a plan.
What percentage of a plan do you have?
What percentage? I don't know. 12%. 12%? That's a fake laugh. It's real. Totally fake. That is the most real, authentic, hysterical laugh of my entire life, because that is not a plan.
It's barely a concept.
when you have emotions clouding your judgment, or you just want to jump on the next medication, or you take too much medication because you're just suffering a lot, that is not good. That's going to mess things up a lot more than not having the right treatment. So that's basically what I did growing up, was study, and basically because I react to everything, so I couldn't go out. I couldn't even be under the sun would burn my skin. So I developed a good scientific foundation, and I went to the best engineering college, and I wanted to go there for biomedical engineering, again, to work on curing my own condition, but there are things I won't get into that didn't make that the best fit. So I focused on aerospace engineering, and also got a economics degree. But I did do several biomedical engineering projects, and just back there, it's one of my biomedical patents that's used for esophageal surgery, that we developed a new attachment to endoscopes and a surgery method to do that. So you can get your stomach surgery in a day and go home that night. So all of that build a foundation for when I go to talk to my doctors, I'm talking to them on the same level as a scientist, as a researcher, instead of a patient just wanting their doctor to miraculously cure them, because doctors are not miracle workers as much as we want them to be. They are human, and again, they don't know everything. And even if they're the best doctors, if you don't tell them the important data, the important observations, they're not going to be able to make as good of a judgment as, say, when I go see the same doctor and I'm telling them just only the relevant information, scientific information based on all my research and things like that. You just have to constantly do research on your own condition as well, and not just the symptoms that you have, but kind of the foundation biological sciences behind that. So for example, if I have allergies, I don't want to just research about hives and being itchy. Yeah. You want to look into the whole allergic reaction chain, starting from the white blood cells and the T cells, and then you go down to the IgEs, senses when allergens are in your body, and you go down to the mast cells, which produce the histamines and other cytokines that trigger the full-on allergic reactions. So you got to study the whole foundation behind your condition, and you want to branch off and look to all of the things that are related to your condition and the scientific reasons behind that, and read all the research papers. And what we have now that I didn't have growing up is the internet. The internet allows you to have all of the world's knowledge in your hand. Even if you're sick, you can type it up on your iPad, and you can do endless amounts of research. And now you can even go into forums and ask people who are knowledgeable about this. Some of them are doctors, or some of them who are just like me, who have suffered certain conditions for a long time, and they have a lot more experience than you. So you gotta take the lead on trying to solve your condition. And just like in the show House, a lot of times there is no correct answer or obvious answer, because you do have a rare disease or you do have a chronic illness, and you and your doctors are along this journey of figuring out this mystery, and you have to take the lead in that and kind of push things forward as a team leader, but also be knowledgeable enough about each of these areas so that you're basically managing your doctors, and maybe you don't know everything they do, but you know enough to communicate what you're observing, and when something they say doesn't really make sense, or when something one doctor is saying doesn't match up with some of the research you read or what another doctor is saying.
Gentlemen, what seems to be the problem?
Bicycle accident. Fractured tibia about 5 inches below patella.
Dr. Harris,
Yes?
do you concur
Concur with what, sir?
with what Dr. Ashland just said? Do you concur?
Well, it was a bicycle accident. The boy told us.
So you concur?
Concur?
I think we should take an x-ray, then stitch him out and put him in a walking cast.
Very good, Dr. Ashland, very good. Well, you don't seem to have much need for me. Carry on.
Blew it, didn't I? Why didn't I concur?
I'm sorry that's a big task to take on, but it's your body, it's your life, and you're the person responsible for it, and nobody's going to care more about your body than you. Yeah, a good doctor and a good nurse is compassionate and cares, but they have their own body to deal with, they have their own family members to deal with, and at the end of the day, you know, everybody has their own responsibilities and their own problems to deal with. So you have to take the lead. It is up to you. So by educating yourself as if you were trying to go to med school, then when you go in and talk to your doctor about various treatments that you might want to try, or to ask them questions about whatever treatments they're suggesting for you, you can ask more intelligent questions, and when they see that, they'll be less likely to dismiss you. The problem is most people go in expecting the doctors to do everything, and they just ask mundane questions or questions that are totally irrelevant. And doctors are human, and you can't blame them for getting a little bit annoyed or impatient, or they just switch to a since you don't know anything and I don't have time to teach you everything, I'm just gonna tell you this is how it's gonna be. So a lot of times it seems like doctors are talking down to you, but it's just that they have so many patients to deal with. And if it's obvious that you don't know what you're talking about, and a lot of times the patients don't want to understand what's going on, they just want their doctors to fix them. So when doctors sense that, they'll just, you know, basically taking the lead instead of letting you take the lead. The doctors take a lead and just be like, this is how it's going to be, blah, blah, blah. And then they send you on your way. But no good comes from that when you have a chronic illness, because again, if you don't have a set answer, you need to communicate with your doctor more. And you got to tell them you're missing this piece of evidence, you're missing that piece of evidence. But again, you don't want to tell them things that are irrelevant, because they're just going to feel like it's a waste of time and they have other patients to take care of. You're not the only patient that is suffering. And so they have that responsibility too. But if you're speaking to them as if you were a medical professional and it's obvious that you know what you're talking about, but they still dismiss you, then it's probably because a lot of them do have egos, or a lot of them are just impatient, or a lot of them feel challenged because you know more than they do, and that just means they're not the doctor that's going to help you, because if you know more than your doctor, they're not going to be able to help you fix a chronic illness or figure out the solution. Then you got to move on and contact other doctors and figure out a way to find someone else. Or if your doctor is nicer and they don't, and they're willing to admit that it's kind of reaching their limit, they could be an ally and help you connect to a professional or a big research hospital like the Mayo Clinic. But if they're just dismissive and just think they can fix all your problems, then you just need to walk out of there. And I've done that my share of times, and a few times I didn't. I really regretted it because, you know, I was impatient. I just wanted the results. I just wanted doctors to fix me instead of, again, like I said, thinking through it objectively and stepping back. It was after college. I just graduated and all my friends were onto new jobs and grad school and things like that. And I was feeling like I was falling behind. So I work with a celebrity doctor that's also teaching at a major school here in LA, and he works with a lot of important people, and took a lot of networking and convincing to get in to see him. And the treatment he gave me just completely blew up. I got into the worst condition I was ever in, and I started out in a very, very bad position, but what he gave me basically completely disintegrated my skin and turned my dry, cracky eczema into the leaky. I looked like a burn victim, and infections everywhere. My joints popped, and then inflammations happened in my nervous system, and I kind of forgot who I was. I forgot how to talk, so I had to relearn how to talk, and that's taken many years. So being impatient and rushing and just blindly trusting doctors have horrible consequences, and you have to be responsible for yourself. So that's my message. That's my rant. If that was helpful, or if you guys have any other questions or experiences of working with doctors that work for you, leave a comment below. And if you haven't, remember to subscribe. It'll help my channel a lot. And my goal is to grow my channel so that I can reach more people who have chronic illnesses, especially those suffering from asthma, eczema, and allergies. So hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys soon.